do not talk about someone behind their back, so we do not talk words of Torah. When she's back in the ark, we talk while she's here. Shana Tova. So, I'd like to talk about something today. But I think that, as I was really looking at things and thinking and meditating about things, I think it's actually something that takes 3 days to talk about. So we're going to have kosher deli food brought in. It's about the idea, though, there are 3 things that a Jew should have. Ahavat Hashem, a love for God. Ahavat HaTorah, a love of Torah for Torah. And Ahavat Yisrael, a love for Jews and Israel. And rather than trying to combine them all in one day, I figured, you know what? Let's do something different. Because those of you who know me well know I like to try challenges. So why not? And so we'll talk over today and over Kol Nidre and over Yom Kippur about these 3 different loves. Oh, it's such a hard word, isn't it? The first is Ahavat Hashem, the love of God. What a weird concept. It says in the Torah, you shall love the Lord your God with all of your hearts, with all of your soul, with all of your might. Love God. What a strange concept if you really think about it. Or not, if you experience it. Ahavat Hashem, love of God. Now, first of all, you need to understand that in Judaism, God does not equal love. God does not equal energy. God does not equal the universe, the creator, or anything else. In Judaism, God equals God. Period. Anything else puts a limit on Hashem. So that's the first thing. But let's talk about love to start off with. I don't know how many of you know about Jewish love. It is not just chicken soup. Or rubbing your kepi. In Judaism, love is not about a feeling. Love is an action. We recognize that love is actually not about feeling. It is about action. For the child who says, I really love my dog. Well, he doesn't pet his dog, water his dog, feed his dog, clean the dog's poop, or take him for walks. Does the child really love the dog? No, not in Judaism. Nowhere is this seen more clearly than in a Jewish wedding. You go to a Catholic wedding, or a Christian wedding, or non-denominational wedding, or whatever kind of wedding, and often what you'll hear is the clergy will say, do you promise to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C? And the person says, I do. And while vows are not prohibited in a Jewish wedding, that's, by the way, one of the Jewish concepts in law, is that you don't take away from it, you can add. That's why things are so lengthy in our tradition. That and rabbis talk too much. Okay, David, you didn't need to agree that quickly. So in a Jewish wedding, the groom puts the ring on the index finger of the bride. He says, with this ring, Harayat Makadesh, with this ring you are consecrated to me according to the laws of Moses in Israel. And if the bride accepts, the bride puts the ring on her ring finger, and vice versa. It's an action, not a word, not a feeling. So Judaism is very, very, very action-based. That's the first thing to understand. Also, our understanding of love is preferential. It's this nice concept, I love everybody equally. I love you all equally. I love all your children equally. Well, I don't love my children in action a little bit more. I'm a shmendrik. Right? See, the love everybody concept is actually a Christian concept based not upon this world, but about the world to come. This world, it's not about that. Love is preferential. We are chosen to be loved by God. We choose our beloved. Our beloved chooses us, our husbands, our wives. We bless our children. Love is preferential and it is action-based. Okay? Those are two of the things about love. We don't accept that everything is the same. There was a guy years ago, I went to Berkeley, UC Berkeley, and there was a man who used to hang out on campus in Sproul Plaza. There were a lot of guys who were sugar but who would do stuff like that. And he would go up to everyone that he met. He'd be walking down Sproul Plaza, which is the big plaza there, and you'd be walking by and all of a sudden go, "I hate you! I hate you!" He did this for an hour, all during like lunchtime. But if you talk to him afterwards, he was a philosophy grad student who like dropped something too many times. No, what are you thinking? I was thinking like his lunchbox. He kind of went off the rocker, and his logic was loving everyone and hating everyone is the exact same thing. If it's not preferential, it's not love, not in our tradition. We are taught, Rabbi Akiva says very clearly, that the most important law is to love your neighbor as yourself. Now that's also Jesus' teaching in the New Testament, the Christian scriptures. But there's a passage in the Talmud where Rabbi Akiva and another rabbi, who is actually identified, we believe, as Jesus, are having a dialogue. Now remember, they both believe to love your neighbor as yourself is the most important law. And yet, here's the question posed. You're in the desert, you're with a partner, your friend says, "Oops, I forgot my goat skin of water." What do? You have enough water, so one of you can make it through the desert, or both of you will die. And the rabbi attributed to being Jesus says, well, you share with your brother, love your neighbor as yourself. And Akiva says, love your neighbor as yourself, and you drink the water. Because yes, love is there, but love is also preferential. So, for Judaism, love is based on action and on a preferential quality. Let's get back to this idea of loving God. There's a lot of ways of loving God. According to Maimonides, you need to know God to love God. Some rabbis agree, some disagree. But the more you study, the more you start to feel this love for God. The same way, the more you get to know someone, hopefully the more you love them. Not just for the things that are attractive, but for the unattractive things too. When we love someone, we don't say, I love you even though, it's I love you because. This concept of loving God outside the Orthodox Jewish world, in the Jewish world, it's very hard, isn't it? It's very hard. Let's be honest. Maybe we love God, and we don't even believe in God. Maybe we want to love God. Maybe that concept is so bizarre we don't even want to talk about it. Maybe what we love is like a child who loves mommy and daddy because mommy and daddy provide sustenance and food, clothing, and Legos. And more Legos. And passes to Legos. I'm sorry, I got lost for a moment. I'm back. But we love what God gives to us. Well, that's a place to start for loving God. Thanking for what we receive. That's a very young place, but that's a place, isn't it? A bigger place might be, I love God for all that God provides for the world. I see a sunset and I recognize I love God. That might be part of it. Of course, a deeper level would be a level of, I love God through my actions. In every moment, the way when I think of my lover, my husband, my wife. Let me rephrase that. The lover is only if you're not married. Hopefully your lover and your husband and your wife are the same person. If not, I hope you're busy on Yom Kippur. Here, I hope you're very busy. But we have a lot of, how do we love the person that we fall in love with? When you're 16 years old, you have all your attention is on. See, there's two actions that one must do according to Judaism to love. The first is protection. I love my children. I will protect them. I love my wife. I will protect them. Not as much as I love them, but I love our community. I will protect our community. That means all Jews, and for some of you know some of the struggles in past years where there have been anti-Semitism, and I will go, for those of you who know, and I will go and fight it up front. That's one way. You must protect that which you love. And you must do good things for that which you love. So I protect my children and I give them what they want, right? I give them things they need. It's not what they want, but it's what they need. In the same way, to love God, we must do two things. And I want to really encourage everyone to try this. Just try it for the next month. You don't have a logic. Try it for a month. If it doesn't work, try something else. But try it for a month. When someone says something bad about God, defend God. Just try it. Just try it. A little defense. Just say, you know what, that's your belief, but I have mine. When someone has idol worship, of whatever form of idol worship, say, hey, you know what, that's really maybe not the smartest thing. That cow really isn't God. And here's the other piece. That's the protection piece. The other piece is to do something that God likes. Well, how do we know what God likes? You can talk to me. I can see you. You're intelligent. Thank you, Simcha. It's in the Torah. So go out every day for the next month and just find something to be grateful for. That's all. Now, this sounds silly, but that little piece of taking a moment a day, starting with something very, very simple, I guarantee you will lead you to starting to have a more conscious relationship with God. Some of you are looking at me like I'm a shugana. Some of you are looking at me like I'm a shugana. But the reality is, you hear Christians, I love God. You hear Muslims, I love God. You hear Orthodox Jews, I love God. How many of us are saying that? So I just want to encourage, maybe there's something to be said and to be found. Take a little bit of time every day and just say, thank you. This is pretty terrific. That little bit of time that you think means nothing will start a practice. A little bit can change the world. There's a Hasidic story that there was a town and there was supposed to be a wedding, and the wedding had been paid for. But in those days in Russia and in Poland, when the local authorities needed to raise money, they would just imprison a Jew. They'd imprison the Jew, and then they'd tell the people, you got to ransom this Jew. You got to pay if you want to get him out of jail. That's one of the ways that local officials would steal money. And this had happened in a town with a young man who was supposed to get married. And they said, if you do not give us 10,000 rubles, then he will not get married on this night. The town had already spent all the money because the groom and the bride happened to have been orphans, so they already had given all their money. They didn't have any money. So some of the rabbis got together, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, another Hasidic rabbi, and the youngest of them, the Alter Rebbe, a great Hasidic rabbi. And they all sat there scratching their heads, what can we do? We can't get 10,000 rubles. And so the Alter Rebbe, who was the youngest, he was 17 at the time, and he said, I have an idea, let's go to Zvi. Zvi is very, very, very wealthy. Zvi used to be Jewish, he converted. He converted because he heard you can make more money if you're a goy. So he converted. He was a miser. He gave nothing. He had a sign outside his house, people trying to ask me for money will be shot, especially rabbis. And so the Alter Rebbe says, I'm going to go talk to Zvi. The other two rabbis said, we're going to go with you. We want to make sure you're safe. He goes, only on one condition, you let me do the negotiating. And so they go to this Zvi's house. He doesn't shoot him because he's so shocked. 3 rabbis are coming to his house. He wants to know what this is about. And the Alter Rebbe comes and he talks to him and he says, look, this groom is getting married. We need 10,000 rubles to redeem him. Please, please, can you help? And Zvi says, oh, God, I'm so moved by this story. Thank you for sharing this with me. I'm so moved by it. Hold on a moment. Let me get you something. And he goes back and he comes back with a penny. He says, here you go. The other 2 rabbis were about to scream, but they remember what they told the Alter Rebbe, that they would listen to him to negotiate. And the Alter Rebbe says, thank you so much, thank you so much. May you and your descendants be blessed. This little act is so powerful, thank you. Well, they start leaving the house. They're not 20 yards away when the servant comes from Zvi. My master wants to see you. He comes back. He goes, you really moved me. Here's another penny. I think they called him a kopek at that time. And he says, thank you. Alter Rebbe says, oh God, double blessings on you and your family. It's so fabulous, thank you. They start to leave 20 yards away. The servant keeps coming. He keeps going back and forth. 5 pennies, 20 pennies, a ruble, 5 rubles, 100 rubles, 500 rubles. Eventually, all 10,000 rubles the man gives. And the groom is released, and they celebrate his wedding, of which Zvi is the guest of honor. He's been so happy. The more he gives, the more he realizes how much he loves it, and as a result, he comes back to Judaism. Loving God is a little tiny step at a time. No one is asking anybody to suddenly go out and say, God, I love you. No one's asking anyone. I haven't even seen the movie Ushpizin. There's a great scene in that movie where the lead needs a miracle. It's an Israeli movie, and he goes out on the top, and he goes out on the top and he's yelling, Abba, Tain li nes. God, give me a miracle. Give me a miracle. And they're so passionate. That may be a little bit much for some of you. It's okay. Take one moment every day and just watch what happens. We believe the more you give, the more you love. Right? The more you give to your wife, the more you love her. I'm really blessed. I have a wife who doesn't like diamonds. And doesn't like flowers being cut. I'm like, boom, home run. But the point is, if each of us make a little bit every day, give a little bit of love to God, we will find that we love God more. We say it's better to give every day than give only once. A little bit of giving love to God. This is what it's about. This is what we need to learn. This is when it says, you shall love God with all of your heart. The heart that really loves God and the heart that may not feel like it loves God so much. That's why it's lev avecha, not levcha. Because both hearts, we all have both. If you don't think you do, you're dangerous. We all do. But to encourage that loving heart, just a little action every day. Say thank you. Talk to God before you go to sleep. Talk to God before you wake up. Where are the Kohanim who were here? Could you guys stand up for a minute, some of you? Oren, Peter, okay. Guys, you guys did 3 blessings in the morning. You did morning, afternoon, evening services. Thumbs up, side, or down, as I tell my children. Did it make you have a deeper relationship with God? More aware of your relationship? Raise your thumbs up, higher. Trust them, they're wearing butcher's robes. Thank you guys, and thank you again for what you did. Take a month and just do a little bit. This is Ahavat Hashem. This is what prayer ultimately is. See, the Torah is the wedding contract between God and Israel, and prayer, that's our renewal of vows in different ways. Every moment. You want your prayers to be meaningful? Go out the rest of the day and make life a prayer, one moment at a time. Just one. My prayer for all of us is that as we embark on this new year, take a little bit more time, even if it's just a moment to start, to realize our relationship with God, to embrace it, to give to it by saying thank you, doing a mitzvah, doing something God says God's wanting, and say thank you for the trees. You can go put up a new mezuzah. Some sort of good deed that we allow ourselves to start realizing, just like when we're courting a woman, or if you're a woman courting a man, because we all know that a man chases a woman until the woman catches him. Think about it. So that we will all take a few moments and start to court God so that we can be in relationship. I love my wife, I love my children. There is nothing like feeling the love of God each moment. My prayer for all of us is that we grow into that a tiny step at a time. But that we, over the year and over time, we're able to embrace our love and as a result treat each other better with more dignity, charity, love, kindness, with more prayers being real. May we all be blessed to truly, truly not only love God's gifts, but love God and feel, most importantly, God's amazing love for us. It is so awesome. It is so overwhelming. It is so beyond words. My prayer is that we all can feel that on a constant basis. It makes everything different and everything better. Shana Tova. May we all feel that love. Gamar Chatama Tova. May we all be sealed in the book of life And may we all really get to know that partner of God. Because here's the secret. God's preferential love is for each one of us individually. If you have children, you love them both. Not one more than the other, you just love them a little bit differently. God has a special love for each of us. I pray we all can feel it and bathe in that awesomeness and that light and that prayer. Amen. Shana Tova.